Hi, everybody. Well, as Bruno said, we've been trying to figure out how to get Cradle to get some traction, so I'm here to give you some news. The idea of Cradle to Cradle is to see the world not as a simple place where we might recycle a few things, but a world of abundance and joy that can be shared with 9 billion people. So this isn't really that easy. What we've seen is that we can partition the making of things into things that are in the biosphere and things that are in the technosphere. And we could design things with materials like lead, where we don't look at lead and say, is it a bad or a good? Lead doesn't know, it depends on our intention. If we put lead in electronic products to make them work, and we keep it out of the biosphere forever using processes that are essentially services that are cycling safely, technical nutrition, then lead is a good. It's when it hits the biosphere that it's neurotoxic. And unless we define our systems, we find ourselves with people saying, let's be carbon free. And what does it mean to be free of something? We're selling what we're not. We're completely undefined. It would be like selling you peanut butter, and the label says plutonium free. What good is this as we move into the future? What does it tell us about what we are, not what we're not? So Cradle to Cradle is transformation of human activity into the celebration of abundance, not the simple desire to be less bad. Because being less bad is not being good. Less is not a number, it's a relationship. Bad is not a number, it's a value. So if we talk about being less bad, we're simply being bad, but less so. So Cradle to Cradle is not a green program, it's a quality program. It says our goal is a delightfully diverse, safe, healthy, and just world with clean air, soil, water, and power, economically, equitably, ecologically, and elegantly enjoyed. And everything else is noise. So we've taken the 6 vertebrae of Cradle to Cradle, which you see here. Materials are seen as nutrients. We eliminate the concept of waste. It's not about zero waste. We eliminate the concept itself. We want reverse logistics. We want our nutrients to go back to the fields. We want our technical nutrients back to materials and machines, and so on safely. We want renewable energy, not just less carbon. We don't have an energy problem. We have a material problem. We have carbon in the wrong place. Carbon does not belong in the atmosphere of the oceans. It belongs in soil, and biota belongs in us. We want water quality. We've designed factories where water comes out cleaner than the water going in. It's drinking water. We want social responsibility, and we want to love biodiversity. So we worked on this for years and years and years with private clients, and our little company transformed huge enterprises. And then Governor Schwarzenegger a year ago asked me if Michael and I could release Cradle to Cradle into the public domain, he would try to make it the law. And Michael and I sat down and said, this is the chance we've been waiting for. This has been very hard work in the sectors we're in, but this will give it a chance to explode. And our toxics lists have to be complemented, in our case, by what we call the positives list. Over 20 years, we've been collecting all the things that are safe in the biosphere. So we're going to release it to the world and make it free. And so we created a Cradle to Cradle, the Products Innovation Institute, not-for-profit located in San Francisco. And we've taken our standards and our approaches, and we're formulating them finally now as a global standard. And we'll be presenting this in various places. The Dutch, the Israelis, the Danes, the Chinese, the Americans are all expressing interest in adopting Cradle to Cradle protocol and developing common-based lists that allow us to share our information freely with all the children in the world. And the idea here is not to try to be less bad and go buy a hybrid and change your light bulb. It says there's only enough indium in the world to light 2 billion people. We have more work to do. And if we lose that indium and those LEDs, we're all dead over time because we haven't shared the gift of this rare material. And so we now have dedicated our work to the design for the 9 billion. I'm dedicating half of my design work to people who have absolutely nothing. And so we're hoping that the Cradle to Cradle protocol, now that's been freed and released, will become part of everyday life, and that we will be able to look at all our products and systems at the parts per billion level for ecological and human health, and celebrate every child that's born in a world of abundance instead of being in terror of a world of limits and looking at a child and saying, you are a population problem. Thank you.